so much for joining us on Newspaper Review on Super Citizen Newspaper Review on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. My name is Lawrence Omoite. Thank you for joining. And we start off with this day newspaper. In joint operation, Nigeria-US begin mapping of terrorist enclaves nationwide. That's from the front page of this day newspaper. And frontline accountant Odu of Onitsha, Arthur Mbanifo, dies at 95. And Nigeria lacks effective framework for successful agro-business, says Origin Group Chair. And SGF commends Omopitan for overall varsity award. And death penalty for kidnappers consistent with Nigerian laws. ADC Forward's 2026 appropriation bill says its budget of quicksand debt wishful thinking. Still staying with this newspaper, federal government hands over rescued Catholic schoolgirls to Niger governor. And US rules out troops deployment in Nigeria as it defends CPC designation. We move on to this Daily Trust newspaper now. US Embassy to suspend visa issuance to Nigerians. And the tax law, federal government defense January implementation says delay will harm economy. And 5 robbers posing as vigilantes arrested. Police nab robbers, recover arms in Nasarawa. Doubts over 43.56 trillion naira 2024-2025 budgets. Alright, we move on to the Guardian newspaper now. And the lead story here says, last of kidnapped Nigerian pupils handed over, government says. And court dismisses Kwanwon's application to stop selection process for next Awujale. And 2026 budget built on quicksand fiscal recklessness, says ADC. Worries as building collapse persist despite ministerial tax team. Gazetted tax law not altered, says Oyedele. Submit yourself for probe, Uriwa tells Malami. And federal government introduces new emergency passport. Dangote releases hotline for reporting errant MRS stations. And Tinubu hails Ogoni Peace Parks ahead of oil production resumption. Lokoede links insecurity to corruption. Federal government defends new counter-terrorism doctrine, pledges strict rules of engagement. And foundation improves lives of children with limb loss. Lagos state government urges residents to maintain cleanliness during Yuletide. And troops kill 17 Boko Haram, ISWAP terrorists in Borno State. And Chief of Army Staff orders relentless offensive against bandit criminals. And federal government targets affordable made-in-Nigeria vehicles next year. Crisis hits federal varsity over VC selection process. We move on to the Nation newspaper now. No going back on tax law from January 1, that's from the federal government. Immigration decorates 39 elevated comptrollers with new ranks. And Kefa's Makinde Sani signed 2026 budget. And federal government makes drug test compulsory for public service job seekers. And freed Niger pupils, teachers received by the governor, as the governor of Niger State. And Uzodima Abdurazak Alia presents 2026 budget to the assemblies. The Tribune newspaper is next now. How remaining 130 abducted Catholic schoolgirls were rescued in Niger State. That's from the NSA. And U.S. conducting surveillance flight over Nigeria after Trump's intervention threat. And federal government declares holidays for Christmas, New Year celebration. Acting Oyo Osun Customs Boss pledges professionalism, discipline. And APC to formally receive Mutfwang in January 2026. Mutfwang is the governor of Plateau State. Why Nigerians are paying more for cement? That's Dangote. The Cable newspaper is next now. Federal government declares kidnappers, bandits as terrorists. Says era of ambiguous nomenclature is over. Visas issued before January 1, 2026 remain valid. U.S. assures Nigerians after travel restrictions. And federal government fulfills housing land pledge to Super Eagles for AFCON 2023 performance. And U.S. conducting surveillance flight over Nigeria after Trump's military intervention threat, says report. All right, we move on to the Sun newspaper now. On insecurity, no more hiding place for criminals. That's from the federal government. I am not worried. Chile speaks on absence of 3 Super Eagles players ahead of AFCON opener. And Tinubu pleased with your leadership. Ribado tells Fubara, okay, we heard that yesterday. No more hiding place for criminals. Marketers lament low sales as Dangote launches nationwide petrol rollout. The Vanguard newspaper is next now. We didn't alter tax law. That's from the federal government. And from ADC, Tinubu's 2026 budget buries next generation in debt. And Trump recalls U.S. envoy to Nigeria. The Punch is next now. Autonomy battle. Local government demands direct funds as states receive 7.43 trillion naira. And Jigawa local government unveils monthly allowances for ex-council chairmen, others. And federal government orders security beef up at dormant oil wells in Ogoniland. Borno insists on ban as Tinubu unveils 3,000 electric bikes. And APC's secretary urges Rivers to vote Tinubu Fubara. Beating Nigeria would feel like winning AFCON, that's the Tanzanian coach. And Kwamwon loses bid to block Awujale's selection process. U.S. launches $3,000 leave voluntary immigration plan. Okay. If you want to leave voluntarily, collect $3,000 and step out of the U.S. That's what the government is saying. U.S. conducts surveillance flights over Nigeria, and oil earnings fall short by 16.2 trillion naira. And police tighten security. FG declares public holidays. All right, we move on to New Telegraph now. Alia presents 605 billion naira budget to Benue Assembly. Nigerians will reward Tinubu with re-election in 2027. That's from Governor Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State. And INEC fixes date for election by elections. And federal government fulfills housing pledge, national honors to Super Eagles. And Faliki support group lauds Tinubu for successful rescue of Niger school children. Federal government introduces mandatory pre-employment drug test for public service applicants. And AFCON 2025, FIFA places Nigeria ahead of South Africa, Tunisia, Cameroon. All right, we move on to pen pushing now. Penpushing.com. Nigerian government officially declares kidnappers, bandits as terrorists. Okay, federal government declares holidays for Christmas, New Year celebration. And that's still on pen pushing. And still staying with the paper, only Oyo throne can confer Yoruba land titles, says Alaafin. That's still staying on the front page of penpushing.com. Nigeria government introduces mandatory pre-employment drug testing for public service applicants. Okay, still on pen pushing, Trump recalls United States of America ambassador to Nigeria. And finally on pen pushing, marketing professionals in banks dispel social media report on shutting down of banks in Nigeria. For more of those stories, you can check out the front page of penpushing.com, your source of authentic news globally. right, we'll take a short break now, and when we return, we'll move in straight to the second half of the show. It's still Super Citizen Newspaper Review on Citizen 93.7 FM, Abuja. Please don't go away. We'll be back in a moment.
We've had our finest moments and our darkest hours. Yet we pull ourselves back from the brink every time. We are a resilient people. We are Nigeria. And when we talk, we share our views on Talk Radio 93.7, Citizen FM. A people united will never be defeated.
Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Citizen FM Abuja. Now we be the voice of the people. Citizen FM. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Citizen FM. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Citizen FM. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Citizen FM. Yeah. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy.
Abuja. Wake up. Reach out. Speak up. Speak out. You are the voice of a new generation. And this
is your station.
Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM. Hello, Abuja. You are listening to 93.7 Citizen FM, the latest radio station based in Nigeria's capital. Our station seeks to broadcast a broad mix of culture and views with priority given to development programming to enable residents share ideas and opinions, music and drama. At Citizen FM, we believe in progressive talk and solution-driven conversation. Our aim is to build a united Nigeria by bringing people of diverse culture together through communication. Enjoy listening to 93.7 Citizen FM. We are more than just a radio station. We are a part of your life.
Citizen FM Abuja. Now we be the voice of the people. Citizen FM. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Citizen FM. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Citizen FM. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dreams. my problem and my joy is your joy. Epa! Shiki, shiki, shiki. Citizen FM, Citizen FM.
This is our journey. We've had our finest moments and our darkest hours. Yet we pull ourselves back from the brink every time. We are a resilient people. We are Nigeria. And when we talk, we share our views on Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM. A people united will never be defeated. Abuja. Wake up. Reach out. Speak up. Speak out. You are the voice of a new generation. And this is your station. Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM. Hello, Abuja. You are listening to 93.7 Citizen FM, the latest radio station based in Nigeria's capital. Our station seeks to broadcast a broad mix of culture and views with priority given to development programming to enable residents share ideas and opinions, music and drama. At Citizen FM, we believe in progressive talk and solution-driven conversation. Our aim is to build a united Nigeria by bringing people of diverse culture together through communication. Enjoy listening to 93.7 Citizen FM. We are more than just a radio station. We are a part of your life.
Nation of our dream. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Citizen FM.
All right, thank you so much for staying tuned. It's the second half of this show, Super Citizen Newspaper Review on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. Yes, the phone lines are open, 0903 2229 2222205. And also, Mr. Salami is in the studio. Good morning, Mr. Salami.
Very good morning to you, the Grandmaster. And good morning to you, our Super Citizen listeners.
Yes, it's always great to have Mr. Salman Salami, Chief Operating Officer, Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. Once again, sir, it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
The pleasure is mine.
All right, straight off, Mr. Salami, let's start with the story. Although the story broke yesterday, but officially, the last of kidnapped Nigerian pupils have been handed over to the government. And the Guardian has the story. The kidnapped students were handed over to state authorities on Monday, a day after government said it had secured their release, a month after one of the country's worst mass abductions. Kidnappings, 6 bands of children were escorted by security forces in armored vehicles to the Niger State Government House. Authorities said the children, along with 7 teachers and support staff, were the last batch of those taken by gunmen in late November mass abduction.
Well, all is well. That ends well. And we, like we said before, that we thank God that at the end of the day, these wars are uniting peacefully with their families. We also thank God that whether it's settlement, or by kinetic or non-kinetic approach, the important thing is this: the children are with us now. My mother will always say that if a man sees a snake and a woman kills it, the important thing is just for the snake to be killed. The important thing, as it is today, is that our children are with us and we are happy. But more than that, and this is where we are, this type of experience is what we should not allow to happen or recall. Since November, the innocent children spent a month with the beasts. There is the need for them to be debriefed. There is a need for them to undergo serious psychological corrections. And there is the need for them to be stabilized emotionally. Because what they went through, by all standards, is what is called emotional trauma. Quite many of them may not get over it in such a way that they will find school environment a terrible place to stay in. We should not allow it to just end like that. But the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should walk the talk. Insecurity, kidnapping, terrorism has become a pandemic now. Do you know that even those who could not afford air tickets are at the airport today?
What are they doing there?
They want to travel by air.
And you can't afford the ticket.
Not that, Lawrence. They heeded my warning that you need money because you are alive. A dead man does not need money. It's not as if they could readily afford it. But is it not when you get home that you send the money? What of the dreaded Abuja Lokoja Okene Ekiti Road? In fact, you should have your rosary close to you if you are traveling along that road. I'm not trying to be...
but that's exactly what you're doing.
I'm not an alarmist.
Scaring people.
No, I'm not an alarmist.
People travel that road every day. Transporters do their work January to December.
Go well.
Anyway, Mrs. Sarami, on a serious note, I think you raised a very fundamental issue concerning the rescued school children. The fact that some of them, if not properly handled emotionally and psychologically, may find school unappealing. They may find school environment very, very toxic. That's on one part. And even their parents. And you really can't blame any parent who will say, no, my child would rather stay at home, engage in menial jobs, than go back to school. So it's a serious problem. Currently, we are battling the out-of-school pandemic as it may.
And the consequences.
And the consequences. So it's something that we need to handle very serious. And for other parents who are watching how the government is going to handle this, because a lot of people will say, oh, thank God, my children were not involved in that abduction. So for me, nothing like school again. I'd rather marry off my young girl. I'd rather send the young girl to go and learn trade and everything. And you cut short the destiny of these young children who in 10, 15, 20 years' time will be figures, international figures. When you look at people like Professor Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, you marvel. This is a woman that speaks with presidents. This is a woman that is given presidential reception everywhere she goes. If she was cut short in terms of when she was young, she wasn't given that opportunity. And so many other Nigerian women today who are global figures. So we really need to be very, very careful as a nation how we handle these kids, because the stigma, the hurt can only be imagined.
We are talking about out of school children and girl child. Yet we allow this type of thing to persist. Does it add up? If we want to tackle the problem of out of school children and the problem of girl child, we should tackle the problem of insecurity.
Very important.
In school. And we should, apart from that, reassure the parents that the school environment will be made secured in such a way that never again will the government allow any terrorists, bandits or kidnappers move close to the school. Not even the school alone. Have a free reign in this country. Never again.
You see, Mr. Salami,
The far-reaching consequences are just too many.
we need to really call out the government, because that's what our responsibilities are as media men. We really need to call out the government. Yes, we know that the security situation is complex, but Mr. Salami, the president needs to do the unusual, just like you normally say sometimes, and give marching orders to people, give specific responsibilities. Mr. Salami, no school in Nigeria should be invaded by this beast. This
more
malady.
than a marching order.
It should,
more than a
and there should be
order.
consequences. In every part of this country, Mr. Salami, we have military formation. Since naturally this should be a police job, but the way we are now, we can't leave it for the police. There are military formations across the country. In every state, there is at least one or two.
There must be a timeline.
There should be. People should be given jurisdiction to protect. Under your jurisdiction as commander of a garrison or anything, nothing happens to any school in that area.
And if anything happens, there must be consequences.
Yes. It should, because it's becoming something else. We toy with the lives of our young, our children. We toy with their destinies, all in the name of, because we want to be politically correct. This is not, the gloves are off. This is not the time to say you want to stand on the fence. No, you can't sit on the fence now. We need to do everything that is humanly, legally possible to make sure that we send these criminals out of our midst.
Lawrence, I will add, even illegally possible, to make sure that we terminate or we take criminals out of this country. Yeah. It is becoming something else.
All right, still talking about the security issues, let's move on to the cable newspaper. Federal government declares kidnappers, bandits as terrorists. Says era of ambiguous nomenclature is over. And the federal government has declared that kidnappers, bandits, and other armed groups attacking communities will henceforth be classified as and treated as terrorists. Speaking at this end of year press briefing, by the Minister of Information, National Orientation, the era of what government calls ambiguous nomenclature in Nigeria security response is over. Idris said the administration of the president would no longer tolerate insecurity under any guise, warning that any individual or group that terrorizes Nigerians would be dealt as terrorists. Mr. Salam, is just as if this is part of what we are talking about. Because sometimes we become too emotionally attached to issues. You hear remarks that, why are they targeting our people? Why are they targeting our brothers? Why is it that this? No, if you invade a school and you pick up children, you are no longer a bandit, you are no longer a kidnapper, you are a terrorist. And punishments for terrorism will be meted onto you. That's how it is. If you if you pick somebody in a car under the guise of abduction, you say you call it one chance. No, it's not one chance. You are a terrorist. That's the way to go.
Well, clear definition of issues is very, very important. Who is an unknown government? When you now dignify terrorism, say unknown government stormed, unknown. No, they are ghosts. They are not even government. They are ghosts. So, but don't let us handle this thing with kid gloves.
No way.
Let us be very intentional and deliberate about it. Let us terminate this. Take those terrorists out. They are known. There should be the political will on the part of the government to do the needful. And I keep on saying it. What is the duty of government? Protection of life.
and property. And finally, on this, Mr. Salami, the Nigerian government also need to get the buy-in of the various communities, because we normally say it is very important if we have the in terms of the readiness of the people to provide timely and accurate information to security agencies, who would have taken a leap forward. Very, very important, because most of the time these people operate in communities. They buy from the markets, they go out and they come in, they seek medical help and so many things. People see them, people know them. People know people who go to the market to buy food, to buy supplies and go and give them. And these are the kind of things. We need to be on the same page that no, we are not protecting, or we want to protect our brothers and sisters. You know that they are engaged in evil deeds.
We should stop this mentality of collective ownership of thieves, of criminals, of bandits. And we should own security. We have been saying this. More than that, the government should strengthen the National Orientation Agency so that the agency will be in a position to do its job properly, to enlighten and sensitize our people on the ills of banditry, of terrorism. It is an ill wind at the end of the day, and it will never blow anybody
any good. Mrs. Salami, in addition to that, because this is a very serious matter, and that's why we are spending so much time on this. What happens to our lawmakers going back to their constituencies, holding a town hall meeting and discussing? These are people who are closest to the people, both at the federal. Can you imagine what it would be if the senator goes to his senatorial district to hold a town hall meeting? The House of Rep members goes to his federal constituency. The state assembly member goes to his state constituency. All of them talking directly to the people, giving them tips, giving informations, telling them what to do at the end of the day. This will also add.
It would. But you heard what Akpabio said.
Okay, all right. Stop shaking this table. All right, Mr. Salami, U.S. Embassy to suspend visa issuance to Nigerians. That's from Daily Trust. This followed the recent U.S. Department of State announcement that effective January 1, 2026, it will partially suspend the issuance of visas for nationals of 19 countries, including Nigeria, Angola, Cuba, Venezuela, and several others. Mrs. Salami, look at the countries that we are grouped among: Angola, Cuba, Venezuela. How did we get here?
Good morning. Are you surprised? You see, I always tell myself that somebody whose head is bad knows that his head is bad. All he's waiting for is somebody to tell him that your head is bad. So he will now project and say that he was the one who told me that my head is bad. Look, the question is this. What is attractive to our people in Japan? Why can't we make this country? There are quite many of us who have not been to any embassy in the past 10 years. Not that we don't have what it takes, but we believe in this country. And perhaps maybe we feel that there is no need to go there. What is the attraction? Why is it that our boys are trooping in droves into the embassies to the extent that they are now making younger with us, that we stop issuing visa? You are going there to spend your money. Are they going to dash you money there? Let us make our country stable, quote and unquote. If we make Nigeria attractive in such a way that nobody is ready to leave the country, they will be begging us. Times were when they were begging Nigerians to come to the US
and the UK.
And UK. They were practically begging Nigerians to come in the 70s, late 70s and early 80s. They were begging us to come. And of course, what was the need for us to leave this country?
And a lot of them were coming down here too.
Of course.
The time I remember those days that even the royals from Saudi Arabia, they normally come for medical treatment in UCH, and so many other things like that. You finish your school and scholarship is offered to you, your visa will be delivered to you, and before you know it. But Mr. Salami, let's look at the flip side. Good governance. most of the time, our young boys and girls believe that the streets of the West is lined with gold because of their experiences. The truth is that our leaders over the years have let us down. That is the truth. You can't deny that. Over the years, in the last 50-something years, even the foundation laid by our founding fathers, we have frittered away in the 80s. And now you have young boys and girls who, number one, even the curriculum in school is not geared towards making them self-sufficient when they come out of school, self-reliant when they come out of school. The curriculum is tailored towards making them come to write application to look for civil service jobs. And where are the jobs? How many people can the government employ at the end of the day? Where are the startups? A lot of them are frustrated. We have a lot of brilliant young boys and girls, even in the tech industry. Only the ones that have grit can survive it, because power situation is terrible, telecommunications infrastructure is very poor, and so many other things. So sometimes when we say, oh, young people should not go, should not japa, we should also try to put our house in order, at least the basics, to make them stay.
The starting point is this. The government at all tiers should come out and apologize to these children that we have disappointed you. We are so sorry that we have disappointed you, but this is a new beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You will be at the center of activity.
And that will be matched by action, not just words.
Yes. And they will see that, yes, the leaders are now ready to care for them, to handle their future, to protect them, and make them truly the leader of tomorrow. And that tomorrow starts now. And that's the starting point.
Another sad thing is that even though we got independence in 1960, we are still brainwashed to think that everything the West is the best. Let me give you an example. Mrs. Salami is bragging rights now for the elite. Your wife is pregnant. The next thing, she has to go to the U.S. to give birth. You want your children to be U.S. citizens. People use it to brag. Oh, my 3 children are U.S. citizens. And when the other younger ones see this too, they too want to do that. You see, even people in government, their children school abroad, the best schools. We've heard stories of a lot of things that happen. So it's one thing for you to preach to the young ones. It's another thing for you to show in action that, yes, you believe. The first was when public officers, 90% of them have their kids abroad. How are they going to be bothered about the educational system?
Yes, you see, like I said, let us start by example and do things right. If the president's children and family are schooling here, if the president stops going abroad for treatment, if there is a law that you must be taken care of, the infrastructure here are top-notch, and you must be treated here. Your children must go to school here. You must eat Nigeria. And there is the political will to do all these things. Gradually, Nigeria will hold our own.
We'll have that reset.
In the committee
of nations.
Essentially, what we need today is mindset reset. What exactly do I mean by mindset reset? Like you rightly pointed out, that is a class thing now. My wife has gone abroad to deliver. Does it make sense to you? What a midwife will do successfully here.
In a primary health center.
Yes. But you see, my children are in school abroad. No, I don't eat
Nigerian food.
Fruit and fiber is what I take. Does it make sense to you? You are empowering some people, and you are taking away jobs from here. But don't let us even get to that level. That is too sophisticated. Let's start from the basic. Let us have infrastructure.
Exactly.
And before that, let us have security first. Right? You don't need electricity if you are dead. maybe in the mortuary anyway. That's where you.
Okay.
It's not for you. It's just to avoid smelling. That's why they will take you there. It's for them, not for you. So a dead man does not need anything to start with. Let us keep ourselves alive. Then we now start well. Let's keep ourselves alive well and be well. But the first thing is let's be alive first. But there is a need for political will to achieve all these things. And there is a need for mindset reset that truly and intentionally, deliberately, we want to get it right. Unless we do this, nobody will do it for us. The Oyinbos you are seeing here, they are not here because they love this country. It's because this country, the attraction is because they are getting something here. This country is meeting their needs. We may not see what they are seeing. Of course, we don't. Otherwise, the Lebanese will be applying to be citizens of this country. The country that the citizens are jackpying. Something is wrong somewhere.
Absolutely. All right, let's look at the point story here. Autonomy battle. Local governments demand direct funds as states receive 7.43 trillion naira. The Association of Local Governments of Nigeria and the National Union of Local Government Employees have thrown their weight behind President Bola Tinubu's plan to enforce direct deduction of council funds from the Federation Account Allocation Committee, even as state governments continue to retain control over allocations to local governments. This was during the 15th NEC meeting of the All Progressives Congress, when the president gave that. Mr. Salami, what exactly is the issue with these funds? Why? I don't understand. It's not as if... Okay, let me listen to you.
You see, Lawrence, don't use your experience to analyze issues. You see, you have never been in government. The local government allocation is one of the areas that the governors, and we are saying this with all sense of responsibility, this is where they get slush fund. They say joint account, JAC. Joint account committee. What is your own? The Supreme Court has pronounced that money due to the local government should be given directly to each local government, and that the local government, so to speak, must be a democratically elected council members. But the thing is this, Lawrence, I am even beginning to see beyond allocation. Let us imagine that there is nothing to share again. What happens? And it will happen one day. Because the only thing that is permanent in life is change. A time will come when there will be nothing to share again. The emphasis has always been on coming to Abuja on a monthly basis to share money. Have we ever spared a time for making more money to bake more cake instead of sharing the cake? It's sad. Even the so-called cake, the governors don't allow it to reach the local government. The president or the federal government has been doing a lot. Let the states too do their part, and the local government. And you will now discover that we won't have the mobility. People coming in droves from rural areas to the city centers.
It's sad, Mr. Salami, because just like you said, there are some local governments that you only see people strolling from the 29th, 30th of the month, and you know that, allocation is coming, and even the local government chairman does not even stay in the local government, stay in the state capital. So, but there are also exceptions we must admit, Mr. Salami. There are a few local governments in Lagos. I think last week I saw projects by a particular local government, and I was wowed. Even some state governments cannot handle those projects that I saw. These were local governments handling those projects. So I think it's something, I like the way the president put that decision before the governors. And the APC as a party controls majority of the governors. So I think the APC should show leadership by making sure that the governors on the platform of the APC act in accordance with the Supreme Court judgment.
Let me be a bit humorous. There are no local government chairmen in Lagos. All you have, they are mayors.
Okay. All right, we leave it at that. All right, thank you so much, Mr. Salvo Salami. Always a pleasure to have you on the show. It's always great. Thank you so much, sir.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Thank
All right, that's our package for the show today. Tomorrow, bright and early, 7 a.m. My name is Lawrence Omoiti. Enjoy the rest of your day.